Coming up next, we have Jonathan. He's going to come up and say a few things. He's informed me that it's not funny, but is Jonathan, so I don't know how it can be funny. But anyway, here we go.
Hello. So last year, a lot of you probably weren't there, but last year at the town show, I had a heck of an act, if I might say. It was a little crazy, surprise haircut in the middle of nowhere. Well, on top of my head. But anyway, so it was shocking. It was very moving. It was hopefully hilarious. So trying to figure out how I could top that for this year. And so I figured I'd do something totally different. So instead of coming out here to make you laugh until you throw up or anything like that, I thought instead I'd just talk a little bit about my grandfather, and maybe you'll cry. I don't know. But anyway, so this is very serious. My grandfather is an amazing man. He's still with us. He lives in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. If any of you are near Carlisle, Pennsylvania, come on! He lives in Carlisle, Pennsylvania. So if you're ever near there, give me a call and give him a call. And you can come over and you can listen to him tell these stories, and they'll be much better. But so I'll tell you a little bit about my grandfather, and I'll tell 2 stories that he likes to tell me. So my grandfather, William Bailey, one of 10 children in his family, and he grew up in New York City, and so he has an accent, and so when I will tell his stories, I will have an accent. He doesn't sound like I do when I have my accent, but it's close enough. This is my grandpa voice, even though it's not his grandpa voice. And Brenda does a grandpa voice that doesn't sound anything like him. But he's a fantastic man. He was married to my grandmother for, I think, 35 years or something. And this isn't one of the stories, but as she was dying in the hospital, he was reading to her the day's mass. And he's just an amazing man. A huge influence on my life. Probably one of the reasons that I am here today. So he tells all these beautiful stories. And the 2 I'm going to tell happen to be about death. But it's beautiful. And one of the biggest witnesses to strong faith and God's love that I've ever seen was him during my grandmother's funeral. He just loved it, and he made me love it because I was just thinking, what would Grandma would love all these people that she loves here together, celebrating Mass and all this. So it was pretty cool. And so this first story is about a man named Bill Lurs, a family friend of his, and he was about 40 years old, and he was, I'll try to switch up to the voice. So he was about 40 years old, a father, and all this, and he had some form of cancer, and he was dying. And he's on the couch at home, and he's holding on, and it was either Christmas Eve or New Year's Eve, some holiday, and he turns to his wife Connie, and he says to her, Connie, I don't think I can hold on much longer. And she says to him, that's all right, Billy boy. Just let go. And is there anything I can do for you? And he looks her in the eye and he says, get me a washcloth. I'd like to have a clean face. What do you mean, God? And then the next one is, so he was one of 10. And so he tells all these stories about his brother Larry. He says, Jonathan, he was the kind of guy that thought they built the pyramids from the top down. That's the kind of guy Larry was. You couldn't convince him otherwise. And he tells all these stories, and one is about when they were playing softball. And this one's not about that. They're playing softball, and he's trying to get it just right. And he's trying to get the pitch just right, and he's terrible at it. But he's doing the wind-up and everything. And one of their other brothers, George, calls out from center field and says, Larry, just lob the ball in already! And Larry turns around, and he says, any idiot can lob a ball in. And my grandpa took this, and he says it all the time to me. And it's this whole thing about doing things the easy way, or doing the easy thing, and then doing things the right way and doing the right thing. And he just tells me, any idiot can lob a ball in, Jonathan. And all this. So anyway, Larry's this great guy, and then one time he threw one of his other brothers across the kitchen because he was goofing around with the donut went off the floor. Anyway, all these great stories about Larry. And so Larry died, and soon afterwards, my grandfather had a dream. And in this dream, it's kind of like so he has this dream, and so anyway, sorry. So in this dream, Jonathan, I had this dream, and I saw Larry dancing in heaven, white suit on, he's dancing like Gene Kelly. This, on the clouds, on his toes, it was fantastic. And they had like a second part of it. And then he was done dancing, and he goes in to heaven, and he meets Jesus. And Jesus says to him, Larry Bailey, you come to me here in heaven without a heart. In January 1931, you were born and I gave you a heart. You come here to heaven, and where is it? And Larry says back to him, I gave it away. One piece at a time to anyone who would have it in your name. And Jesus looks at him and says, well done.